The highly anticipated fight between Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo proved to be a closely fought contest, with Canelo ultimately being awarded the victory. The judges had Canelo ahead on the scorecards, 118 to 110, 117 to 111 and 115 to 100 rounds alone. The Mexican star proceeded to trade fierce blows with Charlo at a frenetic pace. Charlo, for his part, seemed content to simply outbox his opponent, relying heavily on a sharp left jab on his way to the win. But as the fight wore on, it was Canelo who seemed to have the upper hand and, despite a few close calls from Charlo, the former's skill and agility saw him through to the end. His clean and precise counters in the middle rounds proved to be the difference maker, with Canelo rightfully being awarded the decision at the bell. What many had predicted to be a technical battle between two of the world's best fighters in the middleweight division ultimately became a showcase for Alvarez's prowess, as he triumphed in the end. Both fighters put on an admirable display, however, with both men displaying a level of skill and ring intelligence that few spectators had seen before. Canelo clearly showed his superior boxing ability, as his boxing IQ was too often the best in the ring. The former three-time middleweight champion creatively evaded his opponent's punches while finding ways to land his own regularly throughout. Charlo still managed to showcase his defensive capabilities throughout, proving that he can still hold his own against the best fighters in the division. However, it seemed that Canelo had the answer to every one of Charlo's punches, as the former consistently beat his opponent to the punch. In the end, the result was one which few could argue with, as Canelo was properly awarded the majority decision. There were some who argued that the fight should have been judged more closely, but the judges' scores mirrored the action appropriately. Canelo proved himself to be one of the most complete fighters currently in the sport, as his technical prowess and strategic thinking was simply too much for Charlo to overcome. His jab was lightning quick, and often met with a booming counter from Charlo, who proved that he too can mix it up when needed. However, Canelo had always been prepared, and he was simply in a different class when it came to outboxing his opponent. The fight between Canelo and Charlo was one of the most talked about upcoming contests in boxing history, and the result truly lived up to expectations. Canelo Alvarez was able to out-hustle and outclass his opponent, and in doing so, earned yet another prestigious victory in his incredible boxing career. Jermall Charlo can hold his head up high despite the loss, as he more than proved his ability to compete at the very highest level in boxing. His performance was truly admirable, and he even had a few moments in the fight that nearly turned the tide in his favor. Nevertheless, Canelo Alvarez seemed to have a plan every step of the way, and he managed to frustrate his opponent's advance and outmaneuver him at every turn. Canelo's hard-hitting combinations and ability to take it to Charlo with quick movement in the pocket proved to be the deciding factor in the fight. Charlo will surely come away from the bout with more experience and knowledge, and the fight itself was certainly an exciting one to witness. Ultimately, Canelo emerged victorious in his bout with Charlo, as his superior boxing skills were too much for Charlo to handle.